Hello friends, welcome to Dreamweaver Crocheting with Love. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to crochet this very cute and pretty bunny pencil topper. This is very easy and quick to do tutorial even for absolute beginners. You can crochet them in various colors as you need it and give them to your little kids, and I'm sure your kids will definitely love them. So without any further delay, let's start the tutorial. Now let's see what all materials we need in order to crochet the bunny pencil topper. 4-ply cotton yarns in color cream and red. For making the bunny, I'll be using this cream yarn, and for crocheting the little bow, I'll be using the red yarn. A 3 mm crochet hook, a stitch marker, safety eyes. This measures approximately 2 mm, and a safety nose, fiber film, and scissors. So let's begin. To start up with our bunny pencil topper, first we shall make the head. For that I am using this cream yarn. Make a magic ring. And into this ring we will be working 6 single crochets. So once done with 6 single crochets, pull the tail of the magic ring to close it. And over here we won't be working any slip stitches, so we shall start with the next round. So going into the first single crochet, work and increase, that is, you will be working 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Now mark the first single crochet of the second round. Now the sequence of the second round is very simple, that is, you will be working 2 single crochets per stitch till the end of the round. So by the end of the second round, the total number of single crochets are 12. Now we shall start with the third round. Remove the stitch marker and into the mark stitch, work 1 single crochet. Mark the first stitch of the third round. Moving to the next stitch, work an increase, that is 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So the sequence of the third round is to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch followed by 2 single crochets into the next. So continue with this sequence till the end of the round. So the third round is done, and by the end of the third round, the total number of single crochets are 18. Now let's start the fourth round. Into the mark stitch, work the first single crochet of the fourth round. Into the next stitch, work 1 single crochet, and into the next, work an increase. So the sequence of the fourth round is to work 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches followed by an increase. So continue with the sequence till the end of the round. Now fourth round is done, and by the end of the fourth round, the total number of single crochets worked are 24. To start with the fifth round, remove the stitch marker and into the mark stitch, work 1 single crochet. Into the next 2 stitches, work 1 single crochet each. And into the fourth stitch, work an increase. That is 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So the sequence of this round is to work 1 single crochets into the first 3 stitches followed by an increase into the fourth stitch. So continue with the sequence till the end of the round. So the fifth round is done, and by the end of the fifth round, the number of single crochets are 30. Now let's start with the sixth round, and the sixth round would be the last round of increases. So going into the mark stitch, work the first single crochet of the sixth round. Now into the next 3 stitches, work 1 single crochet each. So along with the mark stitch, in all I have worked 4 single crochets, and into the next stitch, work an increase. So the sequence of the sixth round is to work 1 single crochet into the first 4 stitches, followed by an increase into the 5th stitch. So continue with the sequence till the end of the round. So the sixth round is done, and by the end of the sixth round, the total number of single crochets worked are 36. Now from round 7 to round 12, that is for the next 6 rounds, we will be working 1 single crochet into each stitch. So going into the mark stitch, work the first single crochet of the 7th round, and going into each of the stitches, work 1 single crochet. So by end of each of the rounds, see to that the number of single crochets remain the same, that is 36. So once I am done with the 12th round, I shall get back. From here till here in total I have worked 12 rows, and the last 6 rows were worked without increases. So by the end of the 12th round, the number of single crochets are 36. Now from the 13th round onwards, we will start working with the decreases. But before doing that, as you can see, I have already put the safety eyes as well as the safety nose. Now the safety eyes I have inserted between the rounds 8 and 9, about 6 stitches apart, and the safety nose I have added in the center of the eyes between the rows 10 and 11. Now in order to make the eyes and the nose intact, just put the washers on the back side so that they remain in their position and do not come off. Now let's start the 13th round. Now for the 13th round, the sequence would be to work 1 single crochet into the first 4 stitches, followed by a decrease into the next 2 stitches. So insert your hook into the mark stitch and work the first single crochet. I have done with the first single crochet. Now work 3 more single crochets. So in total, I have worked 4 single crochets. Now for working the decrease, insert your hook into the front loop of the first stitch. Again insert your hook into the front loop of the next stitch. Pull the yarn through both the loops. Yarn over and pull through both the loops. So this is the first decrease stitch. Again the sequence repeats, that is, you will be working 4 single crochets. Followed by a decrease. So going to the front loops of both the stitches, pull the yarn over and pull through both the loops. So this is how you will be working the entire round. So I've done with the 13th round, and in 13th round, since we had worked 6 decreases in total, so by end of 13th round, the number of single crochets are 30. Now with each of the reduction rounds that we'll be doing from here on, the single crochets will get reduced by 6. So we shall start with the 14th round. Into the mark stitch, work the first single crochet. Work 1 single crochet each into the next 2 stitches. So in all I have worked 3 single crochets into the next to work a decrease. So going to the front loops of the stitches, pull the yarn over and go through the 2 loops. So this is the sequence that we need to follow for the entire round. That is, we'll be working 3 single crochets, followed by decrease into the next 2 stitches. So continue with this pattern till the end of the round. So the 14th round is done, and by the end of the 14th round, the number of single crochets are 24. For the 15th round, into the mark stitch, work the first single crochet, into the next stitch, work one more single crochet. So in all I have worked 2 single crochets. Into the next 2 stitches, work a decrease. So the sequence is to work 2 single crochets, followed by decrease. So continue with the sequence till the end of the round. So the 15th round is done, and by the end of the 15th round, the number of single crochets are 18. Now, as you can see, since we are working reduction in each of the rounds, so the gap is getting narrowed down. So before starting with the next reduction round, let us stuff it with little bit of fiber fill. Now let's start with the next reduction round. So remove the marker and into the mark stitch, work the first single crochet. Now this is the first single crochet of the 16th round, and into the next 2 stitches we'll be working a reduction stitch, that is a decrease. So the sequence of this round is to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch, followed by a decrease into the next 2 stitches. So continue with this sequence. So the 16th round is done, and by the end of the 16th round, the total number of single crochets are 12. Now let's stuff the bunny head completely. So I've stuffed the head with fiber fill, and you can see the head is nicely shaped up. Now we will work the last round of decreases, that is the 17th round. And into the mark stitch, work the first single crochet. Into the next 2 stitches, we'll be working a decrease. So going to the front loops of the stitches, again work 1 single crochet, followed by a decrease into the next 2 stitches. So you just follow with the sequence till the end of the round. So by the end of the 17th round, the number of single crochets are 8. Now we shall start with the extended base part of our pencil topper. So for that, remove the stitch marker. And the sequence is very simple. That is, going into each of the stitches, work 1 single crochet. So for this, in total, we will be working 8 rows. And by the end of each of the row, the number of single crochets will remain the same, that is 8. So I have done with the 18th round and the number of single crochets are 8. So just continue with this from row 19 to row 25, working one single crochet per stitch. So for the base part of the pencil topper, in total I have worked 8 rows, that is till row 25th, and after working the last round, I have slip stitched, cut the yarn and weaved in all the loose ends on the inner side. Now the next step would be to make the bunny ears as well as the little bow. I have already worked the bunny ears and the bow. I shall provide you with the written pattern for the same. So just go to the pattern, crochet the ears as well as the bow according to the pattern. Once done with it, just continue with this tutorial. So you can sew these ears to the bunny head as it is, or if you want, you can give it a curved shape by sewing it along the base as I have done for this one. So whichever pattern you like, you can go ahead with that pattern and sew the ears to the bunny head. I prefer to curve up the bunny ears, so I'll just sew it over the base. Now with the help of the sewing pins, mark the places where we'll be sewing the bunny ears. So I have marked the 2 rows, that is row 3 and 4. Just see to that they are symmetrically marked on both the sides. So going to the stitches of the head as well as the ear, sew the ear to the head. In similar way, you will be sewing one more ear into this marked place. So I have sewed both the ears to the bunny head. Now the last step would be to attach the bow in whichever position you like, either this way or this way. So you can either sew the bow or glue it up over the ears. So sew the bow onto the ear. Now let's insert a pencil topper like this. So doesn't these look cute? So that's all for today's tutorial. I hope you found it really very useful and interesting too. In case of any queries, please let me know through comments. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.